Another good time. Duncan Brown, welcome to Gino Spot. Lovely to have you on.
Hello, Gino. How you, bud?
No, lovely, man, lovely. It's actually great to have somebody online. It reminds me of when we first started the show as well. We always had people online, and this is the way we did it from the start. And it's often quite lekker. It's because you can be in your own home with your own studio audience, who will now applaud.
Let me show you the studio audience. There they are.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I got the screen on. Excellent. Look at that. Marvelous, Duncan Brown. I absolutely love it, and I love your backdrop. It's full of
we got a bit of the Fitch and Leeds there. Gary DeBrain, I hope he's watching. Thought I'd throw a bit of support for him.
There he is. Looking forward to Sundays.
Oh, there he is, Gary DeBrain.
He's coming to my show. That's good. We'll hopefully see him. No, he's been. Those guys, Gary and the guys have been absolutely marvelous for the show as well. They supported us from the top, and now we're going to live with them, which is fantastic. It's a whole nother thing, you know. And we need to get out there live again, you know. Get out of this rut.
They're such a good brand, and they really look after us as retailers. So huge shout out to them. What a great brand, good. And always willing to help.
Excellent. I see Riyadh's online. How's it, Riyadh?
No,
that's
you're not
my boss.
No salary increase for Riyadh. Nothing. That's it. This was quite an interesting one, Gino. Yeah, he's not letting that go. Or is that Gavin sending it past, or did Gary put that up again?
No, Gary's put it up again for you. Gary's also not on your side.
So, Standard 9, 16-year-old Bloemfontein, Nuffield cricket.
All right.
I must add that year was a very big year for cricket because people like Hansie Cronje were there, John T. Rhodes, Uda Gudika, Errol Stewart, a lot of guys that played international cricket. Anyway, so we were youngsters, and on the way to this Nuffield week, our manager had a burst appendix. So we were left to our own devices. We didn't have a manager. We were 16, 17 years old. And alone. Alone. Yeah. I promise you, I think we stopped somewhere in, I don't know, Ellerwell North, I think we stopped. And this guy came down with this appendicitis. So we were left with each cricket team had a student who was called the team steward, and they were supposed to look after us. But they were generally a guy that played in the team the year before. So they were just as bad as us. Anyway, so we had no supervision. We had to look after ourselves. And in fact, it was another Alex schoolboy, Stephen Preston, who was in our team. I don't know if you remember Stephen Preston, a bit of an all-rounder. And he challenged me to I think we didn't have shooters in those days. So it was a beer drinking duel, a downer or whatever. We found ourselves in some dive in the middle of Bloemfontein. And I thought I could handle him.
Mystic Boer or something.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Anyway, so he beat me. And we ended up at a roadhouse getting hamburgers.
Getting a hamburger.
Correct.
One of those, yes.
And they thought it would be fun. I remember a farmer's bakkie pulled up at this roadhouse. So they said, if we put him on the back of the bakkie now, because I was battling with my balance, if we put Duncan on the back of the bakkie, I wonder where he'll end up. So they put me on the back of this bakkie. And then luckily they came to their senses as the guy reversed out, because this driver didn't know I was in the back of the bakkie. I mean, I could have ended up in Colesberg, who knows? And they stopped him and they said, no, let's take him. And they escorted me back to the residence. And obviously, I was in a good state.
They saw that unfolding, even in their drunken state.
Exactly.
They were lucky.
And we got up to the room, and Gavin, Charles McIntosh, I think, was there, Paddy Kilkenny. They decided that.
Is it Geordie?
Geordie, I'm not sure if Geordie was there, but I think it was 87. Peter Stradham, Wayne Wiblin. So if they're online, they will remember the story. So they shaved one of my eyebrows off. And the next morning we arrived I didn't know that they'd done this, Gino.
Yeah.
So the next morning I arrived and I think I'd gone out to bat and got nothing. And I came back and they said, "What's wrong with you?" And I looked in the mirror and my one eyebrow was completely gone. So that's that story.
You couldn't look surprised. You just looked confused all the time.
You know who that coach was? I think was Dave Argyle, who was a teacher at VP.
Oh, Dave Argyle. Yes, I know Dave.
I think it was him.
Burst appendix.
Yeah, I think it was Dave.
Oh, he's moved back to PE now. Yes.
Gavin and I also, I told you we've got a long history, but
yes.
So we ended up being hostel masters at grade junior. Okay, at the age of about 21, and we.
All right, so yeah, responsible guys now, eh? At university.
Gavin, correct. And Gavin was doing quite a difficult degree. He did BCom law, so he had 2 degrees in one, and I was just doing BCom. Okay. And he couldn't handle economics.
Oh, yeah, no.
In those days, it was multiple guess, if you remember.
Yeah, multiple choice. You had to learn those papers.
No, multiple guess, not multiple choice.
Oh, yeah, of course.
yeah. And I had a little bit of a thing for economics, so I sort of knew my shit. And the night before, but I must be honest, I felt bad for the BCom law guys because they would do a law subject on Tuesday, and then they'd have to do business economics on the Tuesday afternoon. Anyway, so he said that he's going to skip this one. He's going to do it. So we worked out a bit of a system how to get Gav through that one, and it involved a bit of footwork. Front foot forward is A, back is B, C, and D, and the problem with this story is that I got 60 and he got 65. He scribed every single question from me. Yeah.
And then he got some wrong, which actually were right.
Well, I don't know how that worked, but I don't think they marked the papers in those days. But that was a long time ago. I might say it didn't affect his degree.
Yes, good.
So I've got two credits for economics, one. My one and Gavin's one.
Oh, lovely. I enjoy that. Tell me about the story with Stapes now. What is this, the DT story?
The Stapes one was quite weird. So I was in Standard 6, which would have been 1984. And if you cast your mind back, Ali Bacher was bringing in the rebel guys. And
yes, was it Mike Gatting?
Days, the West Indians were just the ultimate cricket team in the world. And he brought Lawrence Rowe and Collis King and all those guys out to South Africa.
Yes, Alvin Calitran and
Alvin Calitran and that whole team. And there was a one-day international at St. George's Park. I think it was a Friday afternoon. And, I mean, we never used to get international cricket in those days, as you know. And there was nothing that I wanted to attend more in my life than that game at St. George's Park. There was is it marimba band or West Indian band, steel band playing. My dad was obviously involved in EP cricket and Benson Edges and all of that, and it was just something that I had to go to. I don't know what I did wrong. Probably didn't do my homework or I did something wrong, but Stapes punished me and he put me into detention. And his words were, Stapes, forgive me, but you said I could tell the story. He said, "What are you doing on Friday?" I said, "Stapes, sir, I'm going to the cricket." He said, "No, you're not. In my cupboard are 1,000. You remember the old overhead projectors with the acetate or whatever they used to write on?
Yes.
And you put an overhead projector." He said, "Until you have cleaned every single one of those pages, you're not going to any cricket match."
Oh my soul!
So. And I promise you,
slave labor.
There must have been 1,000. And off Stapes went to cricket. In fact, school was closed. They closed school at 12 o'clock and everybody went to the cricket.
And you were there.
And I just sat in his classroom, but I said, bugger this. After about 15 minutes, I ran upstairs to the science lab. I think Dee Holloway was the science mistress in those days.
Oh, yeah?
And I got a bottle of something. I don't know what it was.
Is that Peter's wife?
In today's era, it would be banned. And I put these things into a bucket. And I poured the acid or whatever it was over that, and to my horror, it cleaned everything. It probably deleted all of the of the sheets, but it was clean. And I put them on his desk, and I ran to St. George's Park. It was only about 2 Ks, and I was at the game for the first ball bowl.
Oh, man, so, excellent.
I never failed to tell Stapey about that story. I tell him that I only got there at the end of the match, but I actually got there. I never missed a ball.
I didn't even miss one ball. Oh, well, Stapes, I'm sure he feels very bad about it now, I'm sure. Oh, man. So, and now of course, Stapes is at Spar as well, so you're working again together. Does he do the same thing with you? Yes? Oh, excellent.
Bell means that I need another drink.
Another drink, excellent. I like that. You got some serious workers. They've got some workers there that are going to help you. The dancing girls, I believe. Warmer Gardens under the table. There we go. Warmer Gardens is a lovely. I mean, I don't know what's happening at the moment. I think it's on. It was on auction. I think it was Damlin College now. Then, yeah, it was. But now I think it's standing empty at the moment.
Warmer Gardens under the table was. It was a cold winter evening. Fires was playing soccer at I think Hume Park, and Dot and I were in the car drinking sherry. I was about 15 at the time, standing at 8. And after the game, everybody said we're going to Warmer Gardens for a drink. I said I can't go there. That's where my teachers hang out. So Stacey, Mark Edge. In those days, there were a couple of them. I can't remember all the teachers. Probably Dickie Ogilvie and Tom. In fact, Neil Thompson was definitely one of them.
Tomo would have been there. Probably be playing there.
Tomo was there. So they said, "No, don't worry, we'll look after you." Yeah, at Ilsid and St James.
Yeah.
And we walked in. And it wasn't 5 minutes later, probably 6 teachers arrived, and I'd been into the sherry with Dot in the car. I remember a little silver Renault, and
one of those Renault 5s.
Yeah, correct.
And they
all formed a circle around me, and they put me under the table. And I thought, well, this is nice of them. I mean, I thought they were nice people. They were protecting me, but they fucking left me there. Sorry about that. They left me there and went to the bar and had a drink, and I lay under the table for the rest of the evening. So that was that story.
No. You're checking those. Tomo. Here's Mr. Ogilvie. What's that?
Correct.
Oh, I love it.
Mark Edge was definitely there. I remember that as well. So yeah,
they probably saw you, but they just ignored you for a while, hoping that you would sneak out.
I don't think so. No, in those days, that was immediate expulsion. Yeah.
There was one thing I saw, probably, I don't know how many years back now, when I saw you were giving free fruit to the kids when they came in the shop. I thought that was such a good plan. It was so good because it just.
I can't take full credit for that. I mean, I was.
Yeah.
I know. When Angela gave me the award, and he said, "I enjoy travel locally and internationally." It was on one of my trips overseas. I don't know where we were, and I saw this sign that was written on a chalkboard that said, "Every kid gets free fruit when they walk into our store." And I said, "That's such a cool initiative." And I came back and I put it up there. And I didn't think anybody would see it. And the next thing it was on, I don't know.
Social media. It was
social media just took it. So I can't take credit for it, but it was a great initiative and something that we should do more of. And in fact, you just reminded me now that that's fallen away. And you know what? Monday morning, I'm going to bring it back again.
Excellent.
Because
I love it.
It just, I don't know why, it just stopped and we moved on to something else. So I promise you Monday morning that free fruit for kids will be back at KWIKSPAR and George. Done.
Brilliant. It was in George, the George one, and it's so cool, man.
It was in Plet, but I'm gonna put it in both on Monday. You just reminded me.
Lovely.
So thanks for that. It was that was way back when.
It's lovely. It's just that you bring your child in. They've got nothing to do. They're bored as hell. They hate shopping.
Grab a fruit and off you go.
Grab a fruit and then they're happy. They're like chowing the fruit the whole time in the shop. I just
instead
love
of
that.
Grabbing a sugar-filled sweet, have a little
exactly.
Fruit.
Yeah. Oh
From
no.
a
Well
person
done.
who doesn't eat fruit, but
two lunch brown.
Two lunch brown.
Here we go. Okay. Well, I think it's about time for our getting to know you question. What do you think, Gary? I think it's time for getting to know you. We got a couple of weird questions for you. Let's have a look.
Getting to know all about you.
All right. What's the most nervous you've ever been?
Oh my goodness. I semi-prepared for this because I thought you were going to ask me.
Semi.
Because I've watched your other shows, as you know.
I'll probably ask different ones now.
Yeah, but you threw a curveball now. But I thought you were going to say, when were you the most scared?
Oh, when were you the most scared? That's right.
Or scared or nervous.
Yes.
So
nervous, yeah.
So you remember Brett Schultz, the bear?
Yes. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Quick bowler.
So opened the bowling for the Springboks and had an incredible career before injury took over. So I remember getting a call from the bear one day saying, so we were probably third or fourth year university. He'd already broken through into the international scene, but he had an injury, and he had to prove his fitness to get back to. I think it was the tour to Sri Lanka when he took 20 wickets in 3 tests, and I think it's still a record to today. He said, "Dunks, I'm in Southend. Can you fetch me tomorrow on the way because my car's broken?" So we were playing a cricket match in those days. UP had 2 teams in the Premier League, UP and Pollux. I said, no problem. I'll come and fetch you. Game starts at 9 o'clock. So I arrived there well in time, probably at about 8:45. And I knock on the door, nothing. There's no car. There's nothing. There was no cell phones in those days. Nothing.
Yes, of course.
Eventually, I don't know how, but I get into the house and he's fast asleep.
Oh, shit.
Semi inebriated.
Comatose.
And I shake him up and I help him get dressed and I put him. But now you must understand he's got to prove his fitness in this match to make the tour to go to Sri Lanka. He's just come back from a knee injury. So I get Bear ready. Well, we called him the Bear because he was like a big cuddly bear when he was friendly, but he was an ugly bear when he was not.
When he was drunk.
Anyway, I put him in the car. I drive him to the field. We lose the toss, and we're in opposing teams. He's playing for UB, and I'm playing for the Pollux team. We're in opposing teams, and we lose the toss, and they put us into bat. And on the third ball, he nicks off the opening bat, and I'm in to face the fourth ball of the innings. So I think, well, I'm okay with this. I mean, it's Bear Schultz. I've just fetched him from home.
And you know what he's like,
In a bad position, he's still, I'm going to say it, half pissed. And I think he'll be quite friendly. And before I knew it, a ball went whizzing past my ear. And I looked down and he was in front of my face, calling me the ugliest, worst names that any human being has been called in his life. I know fat came to mind. C came to mind.
That's just nasty. That's just
D came, every single swear word you could ever imagine.
2 lunch brown.
Two lunch brown, the next one won't miss. It will hit your head.
Oh.
Anyway, that is probably the most nervous I've ever been in my life. From a guy I thought was my friend, I just saved him. And but anyway, he went on to Sri Lanka, took 20 wickets, and became a legend.
Wow. That's insane.
So that was that.
Oh, my word. And so that's the most nervous you've ever been. Something which you own, which you truly cherish.
I didn't prepare for this one, Gino.
Something that you own, something that you really love.
I might have to take a pass on that and come back to it. There's so many things.
Is it?
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go with it and call it corny, call it anything.
Yes.
This just came to me now.
Yes.
Integrity.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
I love it because I've told my boys it's all you've got is your integrity.
It's all you got. It is all you got.
Yeah. It's all you freaking got.
I'm going to go with that.
Good.
That's what came to my mind. And then
I was thinking more of a physical thing at the time, but I like that answer.
Okay, I'm going to come back to that. So embarrassing. What does this?
There we go. Ask Gavin Loon about the chips.
Okay.
There we go. He did mark that one for you for later.
Okay, so there are 2 embarrassing moments. One was I was 9 years old. I told you earlier my mom was a tennis coach. And in those days, herself and Bruce Baker had a tennis school. And every now and then you'd get these international tennis players to come play a tournament. One of them was...
And Hewitt, Bob Hewitt, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bob Hewitt. Okay, he's persona non grata right now for
a while.
Reason. Anyway, there was and the Davis Stadium used to host tournaments with top class players.
I remember that. Yes,
but there was an event at the UPE indoor stadium where you and I probably watched Johnny Clegg in 1989, 1990.
Yes, I was there.
And they had a tennis court there.
Petit Cheval.
Correct. They had a tennis court there, and I used to play tennis with Kepler Wessels and Pierre Tallis and Martin Fenter. Anyway, when I was about 9 years old, I was a ball boy at that event. My mom used to organize the ball boys. Yeah. And we were in the final of this event, and the biggest honor was to be the net ball boy. So when that guy
the one that at the start, on the starting line.
Correct. And grab that ball. You don't have nets like they do now. Pick them up like a fish net.
Oh, yeah.
And it was about 10 o'clock one night. I was 9 years old, and it was the final, and it had gone on forever, the fifth set. And the guy served the net, and I charged off, and I tripped over the net pole and landed flat face in front of 5,000 people in the middle of the final of the most important tournament. So that sticks in my mind.
Yes, as a 9-year-old, it's just like, no.
So the other one, because my brothers pushed me on this, and I said I wouldn't tell the story, but I'm going to tell it. Okay.
This is another one over there as well. You see that one?
And I'll leave the gory details, but you need to have a little bit of you need to just read between the lines a little bit.
Yes.
So we've been in a South African universities tournament in Potchefstroom.
Yeah.
And it was obviously a 5-day tournament, cricket. And myself and Gav Loon and a couple of other guys had driven up in a small little Uno, 1100 cc Uno, driven all the way there. And the tournament finished on our way back. And it was a long trip home. In fact, it was my good friend Gavin and Drix White, Andrew White, who's a farmer in Bedford. And we dropped him in Bedford after about a 10-hour trip in this little Uno, driving 80 k's an hour. And we were driving through the pass. And my good friend, who's been with me since I was 5 years old, said, "Would you like a chip?" Yeah. And I was focusing on this pass because there's a lot of like windy turns. We were 19 or 20 years old. And I leaned over, I said, "That'll be great." And it was chipnicks. You remember the old chipnicks?
Chipnicks, yes, I remember those ones. Yeah. Yes.
Yes, they were my favorite. And I leaned over with my left hand while I negotiated a turn, and I put my hand into the packet.
Yeah.
And all I can say is I never touched the chip. And I'll leave that to your imagination. And that was probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life.
You got the sausage instead. Very nice. Lindsay Brown, proud of you, my son.
That's my butt. He's just spent 2 weeks with me in Plet from France. We had an awesome time. I introduced him to all of my mates. And
lovely.
I love you, my butt.
Oh man! Okay, just a quick one before the final question. The plans that lie ahead for you. What's in the future for you?
Gino, you know what? There's lots of things that, especially in Pletten, it's a growing town. Everybody's moving here now, and there's lots of opportunity and things that are on the horizon. And we've got a nice business in Pletten. Things are going well.
Yes.
And I'm tempted to get involved in a lot of that, but to be honest, I'm content, my friend. And I said this to Andrew the other day, and he's actually mentioned it a few times. And I think if you could lip read what I said to him when I hugged him at that award, is that I'm content. And I finished that speech by saying I've done what I want to do. I'll continue to support charities, and I'll continue to do what I do. But I don't know if I've got the go in me to go and open more businesses and go through those hardships anymore. I want to spend time with my children, my wife.
Yes.
I want to travel a bit.
It's time for family as well.
I mean, I'm still going to work, and I'm still going to pursue what we've got. But I think, and my friends, the peanut galleries have spoken. I mean, and in fact, that's Ellie's husband, Nick, who is one of my best friends here in Plet. And you know what?
Excellent.
We haven't touched on that. Friendship is the greatest thing in life. And I've realized that the last 3 years.
Love of family, love of friends.
Absolutely. And you know what? Yeah. In fact, you've just made up my mind. I'm not doing anything else, I'm spending time with my family and my friends. I'm going to travel. I'm going to enjoy my life. And you know what? I think we deserve it. So let's finish with that and say, let's just have fun.
I'm content. Good. Duncan Brown, thank you so much for coming online.
I love you.
Love you too, man.